All right, let's dive in. Today we're cracking open a book that's become a bit of a modern classic, Start With Why by Simon Sinek.
Yeah, it's funny. This book actually started as a TED Talk.
Oh, right. The one that kind of blew up the internet.
Exactly. It really struck a nerve. People were hungry for this message.
And for good reason, right?
Yeah.
This whole idea of starting with why, it's about way more than just business. It's about tapping into something deeply human, that desire for purpose.
Absolutely. It's like Sinek gives us this roadmap for not just achieving success, but for finding real meaning in what we do.
And I think that's why it resonates with so many people, because deep down, we all crave that sense of purpose, of being part of something bigger than ourselves.
It's funny because a lot of companies, they miss the mark on this. They get so caught up in what they're selling, the features, the benefits, the deals.
But they forget to tell you why any of it matters.
Right. Like, think about those companies that are constantly bombarding you with sales and discounts.
Ugh, yeah, it's like they're trying to manipulate you into buying.
Exactly. And it might work in the short term, but it doesn't build any real loyalty.
Because as soon as those prices go up, poof, those customers are gone.
It's all about that instant gratification, no deeper connection.
And then you have companies like Apple, right? They rarely offer discounts, yet people line up for hours to get their hands on the latest iPhone.
It's wild, right? They've built this insane level of loyalty. But why? What's their secret?
Well, according to Sinek, it all boils down to their why.
It's like Apple doesn't just sell you a phone, they're selling you a belief system.
It's that feeling of being part of something different, something innovative, something that challenges the status quo.
Sinek calls this inspiration. It's about connecting with people's core values, those deep-seated beliefs that drive their decisions.
And that's where his famous golden circle comes in.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting.
So the golden circle basically has three layers: why, how, and what.
And most companies, they communicate from the outside in, starting with the what.
Like, here's our amazing new product.
Right, and then maybe they'll touch on the how, the features, the technology.
Wrapped in almost as an afterthought, they might throw in a little bit about their why, their mission, their values.
But the companies that truly resonate, the ones that inspire, they do it differently.
They start with the why. They tell you why they exist, what they believe in, and how that shapes everything they do.
And only then do they reveal the how and the what.
So with Apple, it wasn't just about building computers,
It was about empowering the individual.
challenging the status quo.
Think different.
Exactly. Those iconic Think Different ads, that was pure why in action.
It was like a declaration of their core belief system.
And it resonated with people because it tapped into something much deeper than just the need for a new computer. It was like they were saying, hey, if you believe in what we believe in, if you want to make a dent in the universe, then our products are for you.
It was about being part of a tribe, a community of like-minded individuals who wanted to change the world.
And that's why people were, and still are, so drawn to Apple. It's not just about the products, it's about the why behind them.
It's that emotional connection, that sense of belonging that keeps people coming back for more. And that's the big question, right? It's like, okay, Apple's why is all about thinking different. But what about my why? How do I figure that out?
Right. It can feel kind of overwhelming. Like, where do you even start with something that big?
Well, Sinek has some really interesting advice. He says we should look for patterns in our lives. Those moments where we felt most alive, most engaged, even if they seem totally
It's
random.
like connecting the dots, right?
Yeah.
What were you totally obsessed with as a kid?
Yeah.
What gets you so lost in the zone that you forget to eat?
Exactly. Those are clues, like little whispers of your why trying to make themselves heard.
And Sinek actually shares his own story of how he discovered his why.
Oh, yeah. He talks about how people always described him as the inspirational one.
The optimist, the guy who got everyone fired up.
Right. And it was only later that he realized, hey, maybe that's my why. Maybe that's what I'm meant to do. To inspire others.
So it's not about like inventing some grand purpose out of thin air. It's about noticing those threads that have always been there, the things you're naturally drawn to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like those things are already a part of you. You just got to dig a little deeper to uncover them.
So, okay, let's say you've figured out your why. What's next?
Well, now you got to communicate it.
Because what good is a powerful why if nobody gets it?
And this is where that golden circle comes back in. Remember, it's about communicating from the inside out. Lead with the why, then explain the how, and finally reveal the what.
Okay, I'm thinking of electric cars, right? A typical car commercial might be all about the features, like this car goes 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, it has all the latest gadgets, and look, leather seats.
Yeah, but that's just listing features, right? It doesn't really connect with you on an emotional level.
Exactly. Now imagine if that same car company started with their why. Like, we believe in a future where transportation is sustainable and doesn't harm the planet.
Okay, now you're talking.
And then they could explain how their car helps achieve that vision. Maybe it's super efficient, uses recycled materials, or supports clean energy.
Right. You're not just buying a car, you're buying into a vision of a better future.
It's about selling the belief, not just the product. And that's what truly resonates with people.
It's about tapping into that deeper desire to make a difference, to be part of something bigger than yourself.
And you know, this is so important for leaders too. If you're building a team, your job isn't just to tell people what to do. It's to constantly remind them why they're doing it.
It's like you're not just managing tasks, you're building a culture.
Because when people understand the why, when they feel connected to that bigger purpose, that's when the real magic happens.
They're not just showing up for a paycheck, they're showing up for a mission.
It's like that stonemason analogy Sinek uses. Remember, two guys are doing the same backbreaking work, but one just sees it as a job while the other knows he's building a cathedral.
Right. And knowing your why is like seeing that cathedral in everything you do.
It gives your work meaning, even when it's tough.
And that's what makes all the difference.
It's the difference between just going through the motions and feeling truly fulfilled.
And you know, when you build a team around a shared why, it's like you create a magnet for the right people.
The ones who resonate with your mission, who are excited to bring it to life.
It's like that saying, if you build it, they will come. If you're clear about your why, the right people will find their way to you.
It's not just about the paycheck. It's about being part of something bigger than yourself.
And that's what starting with why is all about.
Wow. I don't know about you, but after this deep dive, I'm feeling super inspired. It's like Sinek just gave us this whole new way of looking at the world.
I know, right? It's like he cracked the code of what really motivates people, not just in business, but in life.
You know what really stuck with me? That stonemason analogy. It's so powerful.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. It really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it?
It's like we can all be those stonemasons chipping away at our tasks. But the difference is whether we see it as just a job or as part of building something much bigger, something meaningful.
Exactly. And I think that's what Sinek is really challenging us to do, to find that cathedral in our own lives.
To figure out what we're truly building, what legacy we want to leave behind.
Because at the end of the day, that's what gives our lives purpose. That's what makes it all worthwhile.
So for our amazing listeners out there, I want to leave you with this question. What are your cathedrals? What are those things that light you up, those driving forces that make you want to get out of bed in the morning?
Take some time to really think about it. What are you passionate about? What impact do you want to make on the world?
Because when you tap into that why, you unlock a whole new level of energy, of passion, of purpose, and that's what makes all the difference.
And remember, it's not a one-time thing, it's a journey.
It's about constantly checking in with yourself, reminding yourself of what you stand for, and making sure your actions are aligned with your values.
Because the world needs more people who are living their why, who are building those cathedrals, both big and small.
So thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Start With Why. It's been an incredible journey exploring these ideas with you, and we hope it's sparked something within you too.